you crazy for this one.
Hey, how you doing? My name's Joe Foe. I'm from Union, New Jersey. I have a 1998 Honda Civic for the sport front-wheel drive class. Probably when I was about maybe 17, 18. I used to be a Volkswagen guy. Then I changed over to the Honda scene and been involved ever since. So my first car that I drag raced with was a 1998 Volkswagen Jetta. It was an all-motor car with a 150 shot on it. Probably around, I would say, 2003 to 2006 timing, somewhere in 2006, 7, somewhere in there. Back then on drag radials, I think it went a 12.9 with a full interior car. I never shot it with the 150 shot though. So what got me into Volkswagens, one of the fastest in the country at the time was from Union. And we all got closer and closer with each other. And then that was pretty much it. I mean, then we all hung out as friends. And then, as of now, we all went our separate ways. But from there, that's, it ended up being something like this. Came into that, and here we are. It was something different. It was something different. Back then, there was no kseries. 6-cylinder. So here I am, Honda 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder Volkswagen. And at the time, that's what I decided to play with. You know what I mean? I didn't mess with a 4-cylinder back then. I messed with the 6-cylinder stuff, 6-cylinder, more power. And I just went from there. I was deciding to build something sport front-wheel drive, Volkswagen-wise. Ended up going south just because of finances. So I sold it to a friend of mine. I took a break, and then I was helping out a friend of mine do his car. And then when the time was right, I started building this. So I grabbed it from a friend of mine. You guys probably all know him, JR. It was at his house, covered in garbage cans. I said, hey, I'm gonna build a Honda. He laughed, I laughed, and then he sold it to me. And then I just started getting piece by piece. And then, now I have plenty of friends and people that are giving me a hand with it. So, hopefully it does well.
You crazy for this one.
Well, sport front-wheel drive class, one thing, you go fast. That's the whole thing with drag racing. I mean, I like the turbocharger. I like the intercooler stuff. I like, the big turbo stuff. I like the speed. I like the mile an hour that these guys go. I just overall like the class. I watched it when I was younger to now, and I think it's it's getting to that point where you might see a top 15 7-second cars in the country. That would be, remember when Tony Palo, 890, I think those people screamed louder then than they do at the Super Bowl. since that, it's just opened up the floodgates. Now look at these guys. They're going 190 plus. I guess you could say back in the day, watching it, knowing other guys that were doing it. Also my father, he drag raced too. He drag raced at Englishtown. He was involved with a lot of Corvette stuff. Some of the stuff that he had, you know, it was in magazines. It was, you know, there was professional photo shoots of him. Obviously, before I was here, him and my mother, they would go out, and she had a whole sign written in calligraphy about what the car was, and you know, he went to, I guess you could say, car shows back then. You know, she'd put the sign out, you know, big afros, and they would do their thing, and that's pretty much it, you know. And as through the years, I got more and more involved. Once I got my license, just like everybody else, you get your license, you think you're, you know, you think you're a speed racer out here. I got a Volkswagen Jetta, and I went from there to this.
You ain't too, you crazy for this one.
I had the Volkswagen Jetta, got rid of it. I bought another Volkswagen. A friend of mine at the time was giving me a hand with it. The plan went south. He had an all-motor car back in the day, and me and him would go back and forth with it. And that's when more of the Honda scene, you know, because we were exposing ourselves to more and more of it. Also, too, with JR being a good friend of mine, he had an all-motor CRX back in the day. You know, he worked on a pro team, Orlando. You know, these guys had, you know, they had a lot of stuff back in the day that it continued to come out to something like this, and that's where I just kept seeing it, seeing it, and seeing it, and seeing it, and seeing it. So I said, hey, one day I said, you know, I'm into it, why not do it? One of the most important things is, I would probably say time. Time invested. It's not easy either way. If you do the work, or if you have someone do the work for you. Either way, it's time. I just, you know, I have enough time where I can come to my shop, wrench on it, still go out, still do what I have to do, go to work. You have to make it convenient. The convenience of parts, the convenience of, you know, getting to know people. Once you start to get to know everybody, it's a lot easier because then they remember who you are, and you could go from there. But I would probably say time. Time is probably the most important out of all of it. It did really well. Abe came down because of this whole coronavirus. I can't travel, so he came to me. At a friend of mine's shop, Turbo Racing in Newark. Margie and Tommy, they're very good friends of mine. Also, they have a very good facility down there. He has a mainline dyno. I conversated with Abe. He fine-tuned it, threw it on the dyno. It made 1,260 horsepower. And then it had an issue where it poked a hole in the head. Took the head off, got it repaired, and then we found out on the dyno, Abe said that it sounded like the clutch slipped. Here I am, how could it slip? Went to a Black Friday test and tune, made one pass, car went 890 at only 150 miles an hour. We looked at the data, Abe was like, yeah, the clutch is slipping, so that's all. After that, I just bought a new clutch. I put it in, and here we are now. you gotta, not to say it like this, but you gotta take it serious. You gotta take it real serious. Make sure your safety equipment's right. Went through tech, got the car. Abe came, checked it over. All the guys that were there, my friend Billy, Michael, Orlando. We went there, got me suited up, went into the lanes, and just kind of get ready for it. You know what I mean? I don't really know how to describe it. It's just like it's go time. It's time to let's do our thing. You know what I mean? It's time for me to do my thing. Honestly, I really didn't think it went that. I was actually disappointed on the return road because of the coronavirus restrictions. They had to shut down the track at a certain time if you weren't in the lanes, that kind of thing. That's why I only got one pass. As I'm coming down the return road, I grabbed the slip, I threw it on the floor. I said, man, I really screwed this one up. I had one chance to do it, and I didn't do it. So I drive back to the pits, and I see my friend Michael with his arms up, and I just waved. I thought he was waving at me. And got out of the car, and everyone's talking to me like everything's all right. I was like, wow, that was terrible. You know, the clutch slipped up top. It actually slipped through every gear. If you watch the video, you could hear it, you could see it in the data. And then I looked at the slip, it said 890 at 150. I was like, all right, so at least we got an 8-second pass under it. But like I kept telling everybody, I was happy, but I wasn't impressed because I know what this is capable of. I just have to drive it there. So as more and more days come of testing, events, hopefully the car should be a low 8-second car, and we could have some fun with it. Be patient. Be patient. These things aren't bulletproof. Expect things to go wrong. It's part of the experience. Expect things to go right. It's part of the experience. There's a day you could go out and go 8-0 all day and take the win home. There's a day you could go second round of qualifying and the motor decides to quit on you. Just be patient. So I mean, you got the local guys, which is, you got Orlando, he helps me out till no end. JR, he's helped me out till no end with knowing people, getting to know people. Zeus, very, very good friend of mine. He's helped me countless nights, countless. I can't thank him enough. Mark at MTK, he did the fab work on the cage. Mike, Quick Strip. Alan and Rolando at DP, Jason Parks, FCS, huge help, huge help. Abraham, that's who I tune with. Abe has, me and him, mine and his relationship is getting better and better because we talk more and more. Also too, we don't talk about car stuff all the time. You know, that's also good to refresh each other. My friend Justin, One Fab, he's done a couple of things for me on the car. Cody that owns Rowdy's Garage. I mean, Nick here, he gives me a hand. Nick has the old motor car that he races with. He gives me a hand here and there. My friend Michael West, he gives me a huge hand. I mean, odds and ends, anything I need, he helps me push the car from loading the trailer to hooking the trailer up to going to the track, making sure I have a water. He does that, you know. My friend Andy, he's a big American car guy, but he's helped me with a lot of interior stuff on this car, getting it straightened out so I'm comfortable. Ivan's alignments, did a great job on aligning the car, setting the ride height. I mean, the list goes on and on. And also like to thank my girl, Danielle, for putting up with me doing this. I've been watching nice ones since, I couldn't even tell you. I mean, you guys been around from street races to testing tunes to tracks all over. I mean, you guys pretty much cover from A to Z. I've been, I can't even remember, I'm what, 36 now? I had probably, what, 19, 20, 21 years old? Probably even before that. I can't put a number on it, but it's been a long time. Been a long time. You guys are the OGs, man. You guys, you know, you're the originals. Like I said, you have content from A to Z. You could be at a street race, you could be at ACO, you could be at Englishtown when it was still around, you could be at a drift event, you could be at a car show. That's what's nice about it. You guys, very well-rounded. Very, very well-rounded.